Now that we've actually set up all of our rigging for the arms and the legs, what we're going to do next is our little shortcut. If you remember, we only did one arm and one leg. And what we're going to do next is simply duplicate those and give them new names and set them up in the hierarchy. And last but not least, we'll give the entire puppet from head to toe a peg so we can control it that way. So let's get started. I'm going to simply select the upper arm here. And if you notice, we haven't actually given it anything like right or left. Now, depending on your preference, some people prefer to write out right or left, and some people will do front and back. But I'm going to simply right-click, and I want to duplicate the selected layers. I'm not going to clone the selected layer. If we were to clone it, anything that we did to change these images, for instance, if we decided to give a ring or watch to the hand, it would be on both hands. We want to duplicate this. And that way, if we decide to change one item, it doesn't affect the other. So if you look, we now have this full segment, and it's actually giving us a little 1 here. And I'm just going to simply add an F to each one of these, and that's going to be for the front. So we'll leave this arm in the front, and the other arm we'll do underscore B for the back. Now what I'm going to do is simply move the upper arm B behind the body. So I'm just going to simply drag this down. And with that still selected, we have our transform tool on. I'm going to simply rotate this arm. So now it's out forward. I'm just going to click once in the camera view. So you can now see how we have our arm set up. And we'll eventually change out the way this hand is done. Let's draw a different one so it doesn't look a little too weird there. And we're going to come down to the thigh. We'll right click, duplicate the selected layer, and we'll expand this. And again, we'll do all of these that are for the front. And the other set we'll do for behind. And what we'll do at this point is simply move the front layer right above. Now, if you note, we're not actually attaching anything to the body directly, and that's going to allow us a little more freedom. So if we need to move the arms around, we can. All right, so we have the arm that's in front, the body, the arm that's in back, the leg that's in front, and let's go ahead and rotate that out a little bit. And we'll select the leg that's in back, rotate that as well. I'm just going to go ahead and move this. Now this also shows you exactly why we're not necessarily parenting it to the body, and that way we can do some little work here and shifting things back and forth if we need to during the animation. So now that all of those are set, I'm going to add a peg to the entire body. Just going to scroll down and make sure all of our layers are unlocked. So I'll select the top layer here, and I'm going to add a parent peg. I'm going to change the name, and we'll call this Donnie-P for peg. And we'll collapse this. And what I need to do now is make sure all of our layers, I'll select all of these. I'm just going to hold on my shift key, click to select all the layers, and push this into the Donnie peg. And let's expand this. Now what I just did, if I look at this, the front arm got knocked to the back. So we need to bring that back up to the top. And there we have it. So we now have our entire body into this one single peg. And we can go now and change what the pivot point is. Of course, by default, it's right in the center. I'm going to go to my rotate tool. You won't change this with the drawing pivot. You have to use the rotate tool. And I think for now, I'm just going to have this literally right about at Donnie's belly button. Now we can always temporarily change this. We can temporarily move the pivot point. Let's say if we wanted to rotate Donnie based on his forward toe here. So we can move the pivot point down to the base, simply rotate. But right now, if we click on the peg, we have this set about dead center. Let's click on our rotate tool, make sure it's right at Donnie's belly button. And yes, that's still holding place. So we have now rigged together our body. So when you're designing a character, especially if it's symmetrical, remember you can just go ahead and build out a single arm and a single leg, and you can duplicate those after you've done all of your rigging, and it saves you a lot of time.